So if you've watched this series so far, you might be thinking, okay, I understand the foundations. I understand nutrient density, why I need a balanced plate. I understand blood sugar and weight and timing. And I know my body needs to feel safe. But what does this look like day to day? I don't need to hear more about theories. I don't need to hear about what's perfect, but what happens day to day in my real life? So today I want to bring everything together that we've been discussing and show you how to eat for stable health, to reverse your autoimmune antibodies without restriction, without fear, without second guessing yourself and adding more stress. If you're new to me, I am Jen, also known as Holistic Jen. I'm a whole food plant-based culinary coach, a master herbalist, and a health educator and health coach. And I'm someone who was diagnosed with autoimmune disease in 2007. So over the last 5 weeks, we discussed why autoimmune diets fail if we don't have the foundations, why there is no protocol that suits everyone, how nutrient-dense foods can help calm inflammation and reverse antibodies, why blood sugar is so important and knowing your numbers, why weight loss can backfire. We don't want to just look at the number on the scale, and how meal timing can add more stress and inflammation and even put you into a flare. So today is putting it all together. What does this mean for you in your day-to-day life, and how can we apply it consistently and as simple as possible? So one of the biggest mistakes people make is looking for the protocols, looking for more rules, looking for more things to track, and looking for more ways to be quote unquote perfect. We're all looking for that perfectionism. That's one of those things that really runs consistently through autoimmune patients. Um, our bodies don't need more complexity. Our bodies need predictability, that safety factor, those routines, that structure. If we can just get into the routine, things happening day after day, kind of boring, right? It's the boring stuff. The immune system calms down when it knows what to expect. It doesn't like those surprises. And food is a very, very powerful way to introduce safety into our body. We need to show the body that we're going to consistently put in the nutrients that it needs to do its detox processes, to balance blood sugar, for the liver to work smoothly, for the immune system to work smoothly, for the thyroid to work smoothly. Those nutrients are going to be coming in on a regular basis at these structured intervals. And so the body knows, hey, I'm safe. So that is part of laying the foundations, setting the foundations. When we are looking at our plate, some of the key foods, I like the G bombs, but those leafy greens, kale, spinach, salad mix, those containers that you open, they have all the different colors. It has some red lettuce, some butter lettuce. Those are awesome. Because you're getting different shades of green. Remember, every color gives us another nutrient that our body needs. And so getting a salad mix, I like to have two or three different greens or using a blend like that, which is fabulous. But having that at least two meals, maybe three. Did they have to be all raw? No, and raw foods may not be right for you. Maybe you're someone who is always cold or you suffer with very sluggish digestion or very fast digestion. We have to alter your foods based on that. We're all unique. But starting each meal around either a raw or cooked green, that could be sauteed greens. Maybe you like collard greens. I love collard greens. It could be broccoli as a green. It could be broccoli sprouts, which are also raw greens. But having some sort of greens at each meal in some way or manner that is high minerals, which our body really needs. If you are lost in the middle of the woods and we're looking around trying to find something to eat, the only foods available are those that are high in minerals. That's what all of our meals need to be based around, lots of minerals. We can get those in our leafy greens, our cruciferous vegetables, even in our mushrooms, and then onions and garlic. So don't forget onions and garlic. Not only do they add lots of flavor, but they're rich in sulfur, which our liver needs for detoxification, and rich in enzymes that help to protect our DNA and destroy cancers and things like that, and help to detox estrogens and other cancer causing hormones and stuff like that. So we want to start all of our meals, those greens, mushrooms, onions, and garlic. And then we want to make sure that we're having those healthy carbohydrates like legumes, beans, garbanzo beans, black beans, pinto beans, lentils, any of those, black-eyed peas, lima beans, soybeans, tofu, any of those. They're whole beans are going to be a wonderful source of B vitamins, but also nutrients that are very important for our gut health and our microbiome. We hear more and more about the microbiome, and that is so important. And then our non-starchy vegetables. So any non-starchy vegetables that you can fit into your day are going to be fabulous in getting them into each meal. And then adequate protein. Remember, I'm 100% whole food plant-based. I have been since my daughter turned 10, and she will be 20 in 2 months. And so we're about to hit our 10-year anniversary of eating completely whole food plant-based. Protein does not mean meat. It means dark leafy greens, lots of seeds. We make foods out of sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, but then we use a lot of hemp seeds and flax seeds and chia seeds in breakfast, and we top foods with seeds. And then we use lots of beans. I have beans pretty much in every meal. Lupini flakes in my breakfast. Sometimes I'll even just put cannellini beans or chickpeas in my smoothie. Sounds bizarre, but it's beans with carbohydrates and protein that are very low fat. And so it is a wonderful way to be have a filling, satisfied meal that's high in vitamins and minerals. And so that is one way that I eat my eat my proteins. And then those healthy fats are in those nuts and seeds, focusing on the right balance. So omega-3s, which are anti-inflammatory and are in chia and flax and hemp, and then walnuts. So I try not to do too many nuts. I do like almond milk and almond butter, but walnuts, chia, flax, and hemp are very high in omega-3 fats, which are very anti-inflammatory. And then my number one rule is always read the ingredients, know what you're eating. And my number two rule is always eat the rainbow, as many different colors as you can get in every single meal. We don't want to eat those yellowy brown meals. We want lots of color. It's appetizing to the eyes. It adds different flavors and textures to the meal, and it's filling with full of vitamins and minerals. So I want to make sure that you're also not under eating. If you are switching from eating a high fat meal, like a steak with a loaded baked potato, that is very high calorie, very high fat. You replace that with a kale salad, you have to have a lot of vegetables and a dressing that has lots of nutrients to make up for all the fat and calories. So as far as minerals and vitamins go, that salad can be much more nutritious, but we are really under eating if we're not putting in enough ingredients into that salad. If we're replacing them one for one, one is very high in fat and calories, the other one is very high in fiber, but in vitamins and minerals, but it doesn't have all those fats and calories, which can help with weight management. But you can also be hungry later if you didn't make it big enough. And not skipping meals. So stop listening to the influencers about skipping meals and intermittent fasting. Do what's right and safe for you in your body. So we do have to be careful that we stick to our foundations, even in holidays. Remember, I went into a flare over the holidays. Even when we have a stressful week, there are things are gonna pop up. I spent 2 weeks in hospice with my grandma back in the fall. Luckily, I didn't go into a flare then. I don't know how I didn't, but we have to make sure we're sticking to the foundations, still getting our sleep, still finding outlets to remove stress, and not skipping meals. So what do you do next? Return to your regular meals. Make sure you have lots of vegetables in every meal. Make sure you're watching your blood sugar, keeping your blood sugar stable, knowing your numbers, finding a doctor that will check your A1C and your fasting glucose, and looking at them through a functional lens, not conventional. We don't want to wait until you get sick. We don't wait until you already have retinal damage. We want to keep you healthy and strong before that happens. And making sure you're doing things to keep your body calm and feeling safe. That is what feels good for bodies that need to reverse autoimmune disease. When you are healthy, when you can get those numbers reversed, when you're eating in a safe mode, being mindful when you're eating, you'll notice steadier energy. You'll have more energy to work out and actually do the weights. You will have fewer crashes, fewer cravings. Your digestion will be right on track, and you'll be sleeping through the night and much more calmer. So it is definitely doable. I would love to help you and work one-on-one. I do that. I love working with clients. It's my passion and my purpose, teaching and helping you. And I also have a membership group where we just do it all together. And so check that out at culinaryhealingcircle.com. I would love to hear from you and see you in the circle. That is www.culinaryhealingcircle.com. So this ends this series of classes. So look out next week for the next one. I haven't picked out a topic. I'm open for suggestions. Comment below, share this series with your friends, and I will see you next week.